Hola amores, and welcome back to the channel. And to those who don't know me, I am Maritza, currently a graduate master's student in psychology. And today we're talking about what? About how psychology wants to explain to us on how the law of attraction really works into you or me or anybody achieving anything that you really want. So let's pay attention and let's get into it right now. I will start with a saying in Spanish that goes like this. Lo que la mente quiere, el cuerpo lo puede. And it means what the mind wants, then the body can do. All right, my loves? So, I would think that by now we have all heard of the law of attraction, right? The idea that our thoughts have the power to manifest our own realities. To some, it may sound like magic, and to others, yes, it may sound like wishful thinking. But what if I told you that it is your brain, the one that actually wires up to make all of this work together? So first, to begin, let's all talk about your brain's gatekeeper, which is the reticular activating system, or RAS. And please think of this as perhaps as a high-tech filter. The science explains to us that our brains are bombarded with millions of bits of data every single second. And for that data to survive, the RAS system, the one we have, begins to filter out everything that it thinks it's unimportant or just not important, right? However, when you manifest or when you set an intention, you are literally telling your RAS that this thing, that specific thing is now important, right? And suddenly, all of a sudden, you start seeing opportunities, people, and resources that were always there. However, our brains were filtering them out. Okay, it's like perhaps when you decide to buy something, whatever it is. In this case, let's talk about a car. Okay, you want to buy a specific car, and all of a sudden you begin to see that exact car in every single street, right, or any corner. Well, that's exactly how it works. That is your RAS in full action. Next, I want to explain that in psychology, we like to talk about the self-fulfilling prophecy, okay, which is an idea that our expectations influence our own behaviors, which then influence the outcomes. And the logic here is this, is that if you believe you are going to fail, then you will subconsciously just perhaps stop trying, right? Which will then lead to failure. However, with the manifestation flip, is that what? Is that if you believe in the law of attraction, right, that can really help you genuinely believe that a goal is possible. And if you have that belief, then your body language will automatically begin to change. You will then begin to speak with more confidence, and therefore you can take a lot more risks. So, it doesn't mean that you are not only attracting success, but it means that you are maneuvering and driving your way into it. The following thing we need to talk about is neuroplasticity and the visualization. Because why do manifestors insist on visualization? Well, I'll tell you. The reason is because our brain struggles to tell the difference between a vivid imagination and a real memory. And for this, psychology mentions, for example, how athletes actually use mental rehearsals to improve their physical performances. Well, because when you visualize your goals, you are strengthening the neural pathways associated with that success. And you are essentially pre-wiring your brain to handle perhaps the reality once it arrives, once it hits you. So my loves, here's the bottom truth. Psychology tells us that what? That thoughts alone do not change the world. However, cognitive priming does. And know that manifestation is not just about us sitting on a couch and waiting. No, but it's actually what? To prime your mind, to prime your head. So when the door actually opens up, you have the courage to walk through it. So please note one more thing. The law of attraction is not a cosmic secret. It's a psychological tool for your focus, for your beliefs, and for your actions. And with this, we have reached the end of today's video, but I invite all of you to connect with me through Instagram. Go and check out my other music relaxing channel here on YouTube. Go and see the channel's membership in case you want to help the channel, or go and see the matchmakingcupid.com just in case you need our services. Once again, I am Maritza. I know that I will try my best to continue always keep bringing you ways on how to create a better bond with yourself and a more meaningful relationship with all those around you. Mwah. Till next time. Ciao, ciao, my loves. Ciao, ciao, my amores.